Welcome back to your geography class. I'm Sukhdeep Kaur. Today we are going to complete a chapter with the discussion of extra questions mean inside the chapter question. So without any further delay, let's start our today's class with the discussion of MCQs at first. In extra questions, we always discuss MCQs at first, followed by the discussion of the question. Similar is going to happen today in today's class. So the first question is, what is meant by the term human resources? People who are unemployed, people dependent on natural resources. We are dependent, but not entirely. We have achieved technological development. So in here our answer will be people who transforms resources as per their needs. We are entirely not dependent on nature. Moving ahead with the second question, which geographical factor leads to a sparse population? Sparse, where the population is residing in distant places. They are not living in the densely located areas. And we are talking about deserts, so quite obviously within the desert people live in sparsely located areas. So we have to find out the geographical factor which affects over here. So fertile soil in desert combo doesn't go well. Extreme climate, of course it's there, but we are talking about that leads to extreme climate can be there, but climate remains at the back. Industry definitely not there. So what comes for the priority concern is availability of fresh water. Within the absence of water, humans can't survive. Air and water, basic necessities. Question number 3, what is the main reason for the rapid growth of the world's population till 1804? So the major concern for the answer is about the improvement in medical facilities. So due to the improvement in medical facilities, what happens? Birth rate remains high, but the death rate declines as people are not going to die anymore in that good count as they were dying earlier, and the births are still going on. So that leads to the rapid growth of any area, and we are talking about 1804. And this is the time period when Britishers were present in India. They were there in India, and they have introduced lot many things that were beneficial for Indian part as well. Next question, what does a population pyramid show? The composition of age and sex structure. So let's find out. Here it is. The age and sex composition of a population is shown with the help of a graphical representation known as population pyramid. Next question. What is the major cause of the population increase in the world? Climatic changes, increase, no industrial development, natural growth rate, migration, the huge one. We have discussed in the exercise class also. I hope you remember that nowadays and from last few decades, a trend has been set up that more and more children are moving abroad from their nation as an immigrants, as in for their better career opportunities. Next is, which factor is an example of a social influence on population distribution? Climatic condition is not the social reason. Fertile soil, industrial area, availability of better housing and health facilities. Next, what is the shape of the population pyramid in countries where sorry. Question number 7, what is the shape of the population pyramid in countries where birth and death rates both are high? So both are high, so the pyramid's base will start from the equal spread of birth and death for both the concerns. So broad at the base and narrow rapidly towards the top. So kind of triangle, exactly. Moving ahead, what are the two groups of dependents shown in a population? Dependents in the population pyramid. So dependents are always two, young and elderly. So let's find out. Children and middle age, no. Young dependents and elderly dependents. Working age will not be the dependent, and urban and rural population is not to be considered in this question. Moving ahead with the question, one word type of, what is the movement of people into a country called, where the people are moving from the other country? So it is known as immigration. Immigration. Next question, which country is an example of population loss due to emigration? So this answer is particularly from the chapter itself, from the reading part within the example. So the nation or the country is Sudan. What is the number of years an average person can expect to live called? So we are talking about a specific term, that is life expectancy, that for how long on average basis person or humans live in a particular area. What is the main geographical factor influencing population in river valleys? So this is talking about the main geographical factor that affects in the people living in river valleys, that is water, because of the availability of water in abundance. Rivers are ever flowing part, particularly in North India. Moving with the next question, what is the term for the structure of population based on age, sex, literacy and occupation known as? So that is population composition. Within the population composition, these features are comprised. Next, why are human resources? Now, why is there? It means it needs an explanation. So, let's do the explanatory part of the answer. But before than that, we have to complete the question reading. So, why are human resources considered the ultimate resource? Because they are the one who are figuring out the solution for the entire population, whether they are dependent in the terms of elderly or the young one. How so? Let's discuss. That is why I have told you it is an explanatory concern. So, human demands, requirements and abilities transform raw material found in natural resources into usable forms, ready to use things. Healthy, educated and motivated individuals develop resources based on their needs, and the significance of nature's bounty depends on how humans utilize it. So, the question's language is manipulated if you have noticed the answer. Moving ahead, explain the geographical factors influencing the distribution of population. Now, it needs a lot of explanation because many points are to be considered for the geographical factors part. So, first is topography, land shape. In the mountainous region, the population will be less. In the plains, population will be more. Reasons can be many other, but the favorable plains are provided, or favorable land to have a shelter and have a residence in are the plains. So, plains are preferable over mountains for farming. As I have told you, various concerns are there that why do people prefer living in plains as compared to the mountains. So, factors are farming, manufacturing, industrial sector, service. So, particularly primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, and the most common place in India is the Gangetic Plains or Ganga Plains. They are densely located, and the prominent industrial towns are also located in this belt, and majority of the production within the crop part, likewise wheat, rice, it is to be done in the Gangetic Plains only because it provides the fertile Ganga basin. Another factor is climate. So, extreme climates like deserts and polar regions are less populated, and the regions having temperate climate, average, neither too hot nor too cold. It means no extreme temperature is to be found over there. Such regions are densely populated. Likewise, tropical, subtropical region of the world. Next is soil. So, availability of the fertile soil will lead to the more and more agriculture. That leads to the more and more people attracted to the region. So, fertile soil supports agriculture and dense population. Water, of course, basic necessity of life, compulsory, or you can not the compulsory, we can say the necessary for the irrigation part of the agriculture. So, and of course, for the livelihood as well. Areas with easy access to fresh water attracts population. Example, river valleys, occupation bhi mil jata hai, availability of water is also there in the form of consumption. Then we have minerals. So, wherever the mineral deposits are found in abundance or they are found in good amount, people do get attracted over there, they do reside over there, they do work over there. That is how they are densely populated. Next question. Discuss the factors affecting population change. What are the factors that affect the size of the population of any region? Natural causes, birth rate, death rate. So, live births per 1,000 people and deaths per 1,000 people. The per 1,000 people formula will remain same. The introductory term will change, births and deaths. So, natural causes, it entirely depends on nature, but sometimes, actually half of the time, the birth and death rate can be controlled by the improvement in medical facilities. Migration, when people move from one place to another for various reasons. So immigration, emigration, people leaving a country and people moving into a country. So if someone is coming to our country, will be known as immigrant, and if one is going to the other country, will be known as emigrant. And the other part is improve in healthcare facilities, food supplies. They do reduce the death rate, leading to the population growth. So for the variation in the population composition, not the population composition, variation in the population, variations in the population growth depends on these factors. Lastly, we do have the question, how does a population pyramid helps in understanding a country's population? We have discussed that it studies age, sex, their literacy rate and various other features. So it represents total population, divides into a various age groups, 5, 9, young one, 10 to 14, again in the young one only, divides population by gender, male and female percentages, indicates the number of young and dependent. I've told you young dependent and early or elderly dependent, reflects birth rates and death rates, and particularly considering the shape of the pyramid. Broad base indicates high birth rates, narrow base indicates low birth rates, and wide top indicates, and if the top is wide, the base will be narrow, it indicates lifespan and lower death rates, increased lifespan. People are going to live for longer period. So along with that, we have nothing to discuss. That is how we are going to wrap up our geography book over here. See you soon, hopefully within the future classes. I hope whatever we have discussed throughout the 5 chapters of a geography book are clear to you. So have a great future and a success in your academic future as well. So see you soon. Bye.